Welcome to Malcolm Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcolm and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcolm Reed, joined by my lovely, talented, and tired wife, Mrs. Rochelle.
Thanks,
You were up at 3 a.m.
Dang. I couldn't sleep.
I woke up. I was like, man, what's Rochelle doing? Her dishes clanging. I was like, serious.
I
doing
couldn't
that
sleep.
housework.
I laid down and I fell asleep like for 10 minutes, and then I woke up and it was just
I was going to say, I was watching Ancient Aliens.
Thoughts. Yeah.
And then I was like, Shay, you want to tell the Ancient Aliens? Yeah, sure. I was like, man, there ain't no way you're asleep. Yep.
It did not last.
Didn't last. Should have took you some of that melatonin.
Those give me the craziest dreams.
Man, it's vivid.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'd rather not sleep.
Yeah, I was dreaming all kinds of crazy stuff last night. Do you ever have those dreams where you walk around in nothing but your underwear and there's people talking to you like it's normal?
And you feel weird.
Yeah, and I'm having drinks. And I'm like, man, what am I doing out in my underwear? I was last night, but you know what? I just rocked it. In my dream, I remember it plain as day. It had to be the melatonin. Because I was like, yeah, man, I was like Bert. I was a star in my underwear, just walking around, toasting people. Life of the party.
No, when I have those dreams, I'm panicked. Yeah.
Well, normally I am. I just decided in my dream last night, I'm going to rock it. I'm going to just all out. Here it is.
Mine's when I'm waiting tables. Like I'll be waiting on tables in my boxers and not like everybody.
In your dreams, I don't know what.
Yeah. That's got to mean something. You need to pull out. Don't you have an old dream book somewhere explaining stuff?
A gypsy dream book. Yeah. You told me that was a bunch of nonsense.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but I wonder if it has something in there about it.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Well, anyway, Chell, what are we talking about today? We got some recapping to do first, or
yeah. We had our big grand opening anniversary celebration this past
last
weekend.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Started off freezing cold.
I was very worried.
Turned into a beautiful day.
It did.
Sunshine came out, the wind laid down. People came from all over the place to it. That was amazing.
Really,
I was surprised. I really was.
Yeah. The guys from Mitten Barbecue Supply in Michigan, this was their second trip down.
There was a lot of people. I tried to talk to everybody. I mean, it's impossible. There's so many people, but that's what I spent my day doing. It felt like talking with people and taking pictures. I didn't get to, we had this big grandiose. We're going to do all these demos, and I was going to host each one and kind of let the guys do their spills on stuff. Oh, man, that didn't happen.
Well, we did do the demos.
Yeah.
We did the demos.
Oh, yeah. I got that on my list to talk about, the whole, what all we did. So, but what did you think? Success?
Definitely. We had a bunch of local people show up. We had a bunch of friends and family show up. We had a bunch of people from out of town show up.
To me, it was like a tailgate event.
It was,
and that's kind of what we wanted. I mean, the premise is come out, see some grills in action. If you got questions about them, ask them. We'll answer them.
Hot grills in action.
Hot grills in action. But it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of blast. We were all, I think, wore out.
Yeah. What would you do different next year?
I don't know, man. There's not. I mean, hopefully George Strait would show up. I had my fingers crossed. I had that on my list to talk about.
We had a mini
several
George
people
Strait.
asked about George. Yeah, we did. Oh, man, Rodney's kid. I mean, Barry's son.
Yeah.
He come in the full Lane Frost bull riding outfit. I was like, heck yeah, cowboy up.
I said, y'all going to a rodeo later? He goes, no, he just dressed himself today.
He had the vest, the number on the back.
He had chaps. He had boots.
He was ready.
I want to go on a super quick side tangent. Did you guys see it this morning in the community? Somebody found a George Strait cutout.
Yeah.
That's what that's why when I was making notes this morning, I saw that. And I was like, oh, man, I showed Chell. I was like, oh, man, look, we missed it out. He was like a week late. And it was George Strait holding a bottle of whiskey. Which
tequila.
Was it tequila?
Yeah, it's his tequila company.
Really?
I Googled it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I did not know he had a tequila company. He didn't strike me as a man that drinks tequila. But
I know. He's a co-owner.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I wonder if it's like one of those
I was just
Red Rocker things that Sammy Hagar does he was with Cabo.
Cabo Wabo.
Yeah. But now he's got another one.
Oh, really?
He made a fortune off selling Cabo Wabo.
Yeah.
And then I guess he probably had some kind of no compete for a while, but now I see him on there doing TikToks and stuff with his new tequila.
New tequila company. But yeah, I was looking up the tequila company to try to get my own George Strait cutout, but
yeah,
no luck.
That wasn't happening.
Have to become a supplier.
Yeah, we need to find that tequila, and I'll start doing some TikToks with it.
Yeah. See if they'll. All we want in return is a cutout of George.
That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for much.
I kind of want to ask that the person on the community. Can you steal that for me?
We're not encouraging anyone to break the law, but can you steal that for me? Just borrow it.
Have you ever stolen some promotional material out of stores before?
No, I don't think so. I mean, so we used to go to the old road store in college, and
the what?
It was called the Old Road Store, Berry Hill Grocery, and they always had posters. I guess they're beer reps or something. So that's what you put in your dorm room.
Yeah.
It was like Mickey's and, all the old stuff, a bunch of, malt liquor type posters.
Yeah.
We didn't drink the stuff, but that's what we'd put. I may have borrowed a few beer glasses and pint glasses from places back in the day.
When I worked for Miller, we have like these Saints coolers for Miller that we would always put out around football season, and they always went missing all the time, constantly.
Now, like at Kroger, I guess it's Miller Coors is putting out like a crawfish tent with pots and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know who gets all that stuff. We did get a bar one time, but they gave it to us. Remember that? We had it in the lounge. Shell's own private pub she had in her garage when I met her.
That's a true story.
That's a true story.
Something happened to that old bar. It was like a cheap Miller Lite demo display bar.
Yeah.
It was all plastic, but something happened to it. Like
we were taking it to barbecues,
and it
had like a plexiglass top, and the top blew off and busted. So, wasn't lucky. I mean, if you'd afforded to get another piece of plastic cut for it, it would have cost more than that thing 10 times what that thing was worth.
Yeah. I remember it like flew off somewhere, and
we used it several times at barbecues because it made a good shot bar.
In my garage that we had converted into a bar.
Yeah,
I don't know. We had the umbrella up and the whole 9 yards in the garage.
Had a card table. You made a poker table, like a big round Sam's Club round table, and it got like a felt and stapled it all to it. Had the poker stuff.
Anyway, back to our event.
Yeah. So no, I thought it went good. I don't know if there's anything you could change. I mean, the one thing that gets you on that is you never know what the weather's going to do. So if it would have decided it was going to rain that day, we would have, we'd have had all that food and nobody probably would have showed up. But being that the weather was nice, we had, like you said, it was a family event. We had a kids zone set up. And, thanks to Robert Carter, he's a local guy that's a big booster for the Hernando Tigers high school football team. And his son, I think his son's playing ball. So he brought his son out, and they had
there's
another football players that wore their jerseys out. And we bought, it was the coolest thing. I think it came from Amazon. It's like this blow up football guy with the, circle up where his hands would be. And it came with these inflatable footballs, and we let the kids throw them for prizes. And then we did like the cornhole boards, and if they could, throw it to the cornhole board,
and they would
get a prize.
And we had hot dogs for the kids.
Yeah.
Those hot dogs were delicious.
Man, there's more adults eating those hot dogs than there were kids. I had that on my list to talk about. Michael and Carter, they had to cook the hot dogs. About how to fit, not to be able to cook the hot dogs. So we pulled out that event grill. Did I talk about that event grill in another podcast?
Yeah, when we you talked about it when we cooked the chicken skewers at our catering event.
It's a propane grill, and it's got, I think, 8 burners on it. No, it's like as long as a table. I don't know how many inches it is, but I bought it off HomeDepot.com.
They got
Sam's and Costco used to have them, but ours
I meant
was
to tell
out.
you they have them now.
Oh, is it?
It's a seasonal
it's that
product,
time, yeah. But I found it at Home Depot, and I was shocked. And the reason why I jumped on it is only $450, free shipping. So they brought it right to the shop, and I was like, man, that's the best. That's one of the best grills I bought for the money of what you can cook on it. You know. But we got grill grates for it, and they did hot dogs, and I don't know how many there was a bunch of hot dogs. They had 2 or 3 coolers because after they cooked the hot dogs, we had them take the buns and roll them up individually, aluminum foil, and put them in a cooler, and they stayed warm. The whole.
Heck yeah, it's almost like it helps steam them.
Yeah, it softens the bun up.
Yeah. But
you bought the little mustard and ketchup station for it.
Yeah, but people were like, "What kind of brand hot dogs are this?" I had a lot of people asking me.
They were Nathan's quarter-pound all beef hot dogs, and when you order them, like we ordered them from Benny Keith, and that's just a food distributor. And I didn't know which ones they're, me and Jamie and Mark had talked about it. It was like, do you want 8s? Do you want 6s? Do you want, and they got like 2 numbers. One of them's like the diameter of the hot dog or something, and the other number is like the length of the hot dog.
Really?
We didn't know that at the time. We just like, do y'all have hot dogs? Yeah, here's the price list. And it's got all these numbers. I said, man, I don't know which ones are about $1 for a pack or whatever. But we ended up buying the Nathan's all beef quarter pounders. They were bun length, but yeah, they were right at, bun length. Perfect. Perfect. It reminded you of a Sam's Club. You ever got the $1.50 hot dog special from Sam's?
That's exactly
the hot dog it was.
Already wrapped in the foil and everything. Yeah.
I just want to say they were killing it. Like they were walking around like they were at a sporting event. Like hot dog, get your hot dog. I loved it. I loved that. Great, man.
Like, hot dog, hot dog.
I was like, you guys are doing great. Selling people when they came out of shop.
There were some people like multiple hot dogs.
We had a lot of food. So Traeger, they were our first demo. Yeah. They started at 10?
Yeah. Well, no, actually, we started the thing at 9. Originally, we were going to start at 10, but we wanted to do something. Because we know people will be there as soon as we open the door. So Jamie decided he was going to pull out the deep fryer we have here, the Bayou Classic 2-basket. It's like a propane deep fryer, and do some Redneck Beignets, which he bought canned biscuits. Like I think they were the Grands, old school style canned biscuit. Cut them up into chunks and then rolled them in your hand in a ball and deep fry them. So it's a little take on a beignet or a donut hole.
It tasted a little like a beignet to me. And then he topped it with a cinnamon sugar
and they made up
topping.
A glaze. Yeah. Like, it was like, was it milk and powdered sugar?
Mm-hmm. And a little vanilla.
Yeah. And so it kind of like made that glazed donut and drizzled it over in a squeeze bottle and hit it with that cinnamon sugar. They were fantastic.
They were really good. I would do that again.
There wasn't really a demo to that because, I got these biscuits. I'm going to ball them up and fry them. And,
it was just.
But it was something to kick off the morning. And then, one thing we didn't have was Bloody Marys. I guess we can't do alcohol to the public.
Well, I wasn't feeling it.
You wasn't feeling Bloody Mary that morning? But so the next thing, you're right, Traeger was they were the front and center when you came through. And that was the first demo we had.
So I missed that demo. What did he demo?
He demoed, so I got to say thanks to Harley Smith and his brother Sandy Smith. They come from Georgia. Harley is a Traeger rep, sales area. I think he's got our region. He covers a big chunk of the South, and he goes around and does a lot of demos with Traeger. And so they used one of our grills, and they brought a grill or two, and they cook. When they come, they cook. It was just 2 of them, and they started out with a pork loin slider. They did, he calls it strip steak and rice. And it's what he was wanting to show people is different stuff that you can do on a grill besides just your traditional barbecue ribs or, he's like, we don't do that in demos. Everybody can cook that at home. I want to show you what you can really do with these grills.
Yeah.
So he did strip steak and rice. They did teriyaki chicken strips or skewers.
Those were really good. I did get a bite of those.
They did like a take on Italian sausage on a bun, peppers and onions.
Somebody told me they had pot roast.
They did a smoked chuck roast, pot roast style with vegetables. That was funny because, they're prepping all this stuff and people start showing up and they've just got the pan. And I watched this. I was standing there with Harley and he just had his pan. It had like carrots and potatoes and mushrooms and onions all raw in it.
Yeah.
And he'd seasoned it up with like a packet of beef stew seasoning and some other stuff. And he just had it sitting on the table because he was getting the grills ready and just getting prepped. And there's people lined up, and they were eating his raw vegetables seasoned up. And so Harley said, "That pretty good to you, man?" I was like, and the guy said, "Well, it's all right." He said, "Well, it'd be better if you let me cook it."
Did he say that?
I was rolling because people were just standing there. We were talking, and this is like when they first got there. But people, people start showing up early. So, but it was funny. It was eating the carrots and mushrooms. That been cooked or nothing, just seasoned. Hey, got to do what you got to do.
You need a little ranch for that, I think.
You need something. Yeah. be a little better if it was warm, probably. But yeah, so they cooked those. They cooked. I don't know how many pork loins they cooked.
Did you try their apple pie and cheddar?
Oh, man, I didn't even I forgot about that. That was one thing that blew me away. And I told him when he'd let me try it that I'm stealing it. Did y'all know that's a thing? Like a slice of cheddar cheese over warm apple pie?
Or served with it alongside of it? Yeah, that's supposed to be like a classic combination.
I've seen it, but I had never tried it.
My mother-in-law grew up in Vermont, so she's like really big on it.
Is that
she makes pie.
yeah?
So it's like maybe a northern thing.
Yeah.
So when Harley told me he had a take on it, he had done it. He said he did it accidentally at another event where they had some leftover apple pies or something, and they needed something else to feed some people.
Yeah.
And so what he did, he takes 2 apple pies, like you go buy at Sam's Club or
like the
whatever.
kind, like a regular apple pie
Regular
that you would
apple
slice
pie.
and serve. Yeah.
Yes. Takes those 2 pies, puts them in a long, large size aluminum pan, and just kind of breaks them up. And to where it's like just all these pieces of pie deconstructed in this pan, and then mixes cheese with it, like shredded cheese.
Puts it over the top.
It puts it all over the top, seasoned it with a little of that Cinnamon Toast Crunch sugar stuff, puts it on the pit, and lets it all come together. And it makes like this cobbler. It's like an apple pie cheesy cobbler. And you think this is going to be disgusting, cheese and pie or whatever. When it was done, he got a bowl, a little tray of it and brought it over to me. He's like, I told him I had to try it, and it was awesome.
It was pretty good.
It was you knew it was creamy and cheesy without it being like, is that just cheese in there in a pie? Because you didn't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna recreate that. Or at least try it. I think it'll be a good TikTok. Really, nobody's done that. Well, it'll be done this tomorrow. Watch. You'll see it.
So what else did Harley do? So tell me about the strip loin. Is it strip loin?
So
right?
the first time I had this, they came last year and did it. They did ribeye rice, and we cooked a bunch of ribeyes for a demo. And he's like, "Man, if y'all cut me up some of these ribeyes, I want to show you how I use. If you have leftover steak, you can get a nice dish out of this to serve to people." And it reminded me of something you would do, like a casserole at home or something like that. But you take chunks of steaks and you mix it with cooked steak, already cooked steak, and you mix it with like beef stew seasoning or au jus seasoning. You put onions in it, you put peppers in it, put rice in it, and you put beef broth. It all goes in an aluminum pan, like uncooked rice. I think he did use like the minute rice. Comes in the red box or whatever. So you're doing it cooking fast, but you could use long grain rice. It'd still cook. It'd just take a little longer. But he mixes, all those ingredients up in the pan, covers it in foil, sticks it on the pit.
So no cream and nothing?
I didn't see any. Yeah. But that's a great idea. If you put cream and mushroom in that, it'd be really good.
Good and creamy.
But it makes almost like it's a steak.
It's a casserole.
Yeah, beef and rice. Yeah. Beef and rice casserole is what it is. But it's serving it to a large crowd. You just get them a scoop, put it in a tray, give them a fork.
It's a great way to stretch that beef too.
But it was really good, and I see where like if you had leftover chuck roast, if you had leftover brisket, if you got leftover, who has leftover steak? He's like, you want to do? You got leftover ribeye. I said, Harley, who are you hanging out with that don't eat all the ribeye?
You need new friends.
Yeah, you need new friends. But he did. So instead of doing ribeyes this time, he did strip steak. Which worked just the same. You could do it with any kind of steak. If you wanted to do it with flank steak or, flat iron or whatever, you just need cooked steak. You cook it first, and I'd probably cook it on the rare side. Cut it up into bite-sized pieces, mix it up with the vegetables, the rice, the seasonings, the beef stock, and then cover it and cook it. I think he said it takes about hour and a half at 350 on the pit, and it's ready to go.
That's another one.
It's a really good dish.
Add whatever you wanted to. Add whatever veg. Add whatever seasonings.
Yeah, you can make that one all kinds of ways. But I'm any kind of rice casserole dish. I'm a junkie for it. That's my thing. Don't pick chicken and rice. Smother pork chops and rice. Beef tips and rice. All that. That's me. It reminds me of them. It's like a jambalaya or something like that you're just making in a one pot dish in the oven, but. You can do it on the those Traegers work just like outdoor ovens too. I mean, they're not just for grilling or smoking. You can cook something like that in it and it does fine.
We also had, what was the next demo? Oil balls, the crawfish.
I was going to talk about his chicken bites too.
Okay.
They took a lot like I do the brown sugar chicken skewers. They took boneless, skinless thighs and cut them into strips and then seasoned them and then put them in like a teriyaki marinade. And then put them on the pit and roasted them, and then they pulled them off. They just cut them into bite-sized pieces, and you got a couple bites of teriyaki chicken. That was a great, and I
they
really
were
like
really tender.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're melting in your
flavorful.
mouth.
They were good.
Thighs are the way to go with that,
Heck
and it's
yeah.
a quick dish. And if you're sleeping on the boneless, skinless thighs, you got to get on that train. Because I would start with the brown sugar bourbon the chicken thigh skewers that we do, but you could go Asian style with it. You could go any kind of flavors that you want to do with those chicken thighs. You could do it, and the little sliders were good too. It was like smoked the pork loin, cut it in slices, put it on a Hawaiian roll, topped it with some cheese, let the cheese melt. So can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. And me and Tyler tried to do like a TikTok with that one. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Because by the time we got going, the crowd. So what happened with these demos was the crowd would just be all around you, and it was hard to get anything across. But you want to talk to everybody and explain the dishes you're serving. But as far as what we were trying to get some footage, that was a little tough.
That's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have.
But then Bull Boss came.
Those guys. Did you know? So they're from New Orleans.
They're young.
And it was two brothers. And that's what I was like, man, I expect those guys, I don't know. You think of somebody's got a company, you think it'd be,
I don't know, our age.
Older than me. I feel like I'm their age. But yeah, they show up and I was like, oh yeah, man, these two, kind of, Louisiana guys, and they're cooking crawfish and they're going through everything they have. And they had sweet potatoes. And I was like, what are y'all doing with those sweet potatoes? And they said, oh, we're going to show you. You never had sweet potatoes in a crawfish bowl? And I was like, no, I figured they'd go to mush, it's something that's not going to stand up. Man, they shocked everybody with the sweet potatoes in the bowl.
That was like one of the highlights of the day. Everybody kept saying, "Did you get a sweet potato?"
Yeah, there's people just bringing it around.
Those were a big hit. That was some awesome crawfish.
They were. We got those. I think
really
those
good.
crawfish came from Crawfish Haven up in Horn Lake,
Mm-hmm.
and man, they're big right now. The head's holding all the juice. I mean, it's just the right time.
Yeah.
We're in that getting. It ain't to the peak yet, but they're right. If you're in the crawfish, they're still a little high. I think they're $3.25 a pound this week, something like that.
But we had a lot of crawfish, and people ate crawfish all day.
All day.
It was a big hit.
I don't know how many sacks they bought.
I think he said 5.
But 5 or 6, something like that. So
it was enough for everybody.
Yeah,
to
it was
get
enough for everybody
yeah.
there. They wanted to try crawfish. I mean, some people they were taking. So we'd set up one of our little round crawfish tables that you put the garbage can in the center of, and we'd just take a half pan over there and let whoever's standing around the table just get in there. Yeah, share. But most of them was just coming out. You got, I don't know,
a boat,
8 to 10 crawfish in a little boat, enough to try. But the flavors were good. They were, we put some of our pickled products in there. They had the olives, and they had the hot dill pickles, and they had some of the pickled quail eggs in the bowl. You don't like all that stuff in theirs, do you?
I mean,
they had the corn.
No.
They had the corn, and they skipped the regular potatoes and went sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
They had some sausage in there, and had the mushroom and champignons in there.
I
used the king crawl bowl for the liquid.
I can get. I don't even care about the potatoes. I don't even really care about the corn. I want crawfish,
mushroom,
and I want the mushrooms and the garlic. And that's
and
about
no
it.
sausage.
It depends on your sausage. Yeah.
But what so they did something unique, and to me, citrus flavors really go great with crawfish.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, and I use a ton of lemon when I do it. But what I do is I half those lemons, squeeze them in my pot when I'm getting everything going. Throw the lemon peel and everything in there with it, and it's kind of flavoring the pot. Well, what they did, they would take the fruit, and Waylon got me this fruit juicer. It's like for Christmas, and it's like one of those. It's got the handle, and you cut the.
It's like what Aunt Julius would have.
Yeah, cut the citrus fruit in half, put it on there, and hammer down on it and squeeze it. So they caught all the juice, and they did oranges, lemons, and limes, I think. And they made, I don't know how many they did. They had bags of the fruit. But what they did, as they would squeeze it and cut it and squeeze it, they would throw, what do you call it, the hull or whatever's left, the pulp and all the half. After they got all the juice took out, they throw that in the pot. So it was flavoring the pot that way, but they saved the juice. And so whenever they boiled for, you boil crawfish 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how tough the shell is, and you turn it off and you put the boil boss on it, which was why they came to kind of showcase how that boil boss works. You cool that pot down, and you soak those crawfish to really get the flavor in there. That's when they added the fresh juice. And they said it gives it so much more. It gives it so much more of the citrus flavor and you really can taste it. And man, I was like, this is.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm using that.
Because you're not cooking it out. in the bowl. Yeah.
That's right. You're not steaming all of it out. That flavor's in there, and you could really taste the different citrus notes in it. Gave it those were some really good crawfish.
And then you had the rib demo.
Yet Dustin Rudd and Tennessee Mojo Jay Durbin did. Man, it was a comp style. That was a flat comp style.
It was.
Originally, the idea was we're just going to do some eating ribs. We'll throw TX on them, cook them. Everybody loves a good eating rib, and they was like, no, they want to do a comp style rib. So they did baby back ribs. Would you call it? I'd call it Memphis and May or MBN style.
Yeah. Sweet, sticky.
I don't even know the whole recipe that they did. Because a comp recipe's got all kinds of stuff on it.
Yeah.
They seasoned them. They smoked them. They wrapped them with all the good stuff. They took them out. Dustin whipped up a glaze, like a special barbecue sauce glaze, put it back over the top of them, let that sit. Did all this on the BFO, and there was going to be a big demo for that, and I guess there was.
Yeah, there was.
But by the time, so this was the third thing going that day, it was already, 12, noon.
Is one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was packed at that point. I couldn't even get up there. It was so many people.
Yeah.
And then we'd already started, Traeger had fed them all this food, and they'd ate crawfish. And then by that time, you just warmed them up for ribs. And it was like everybody wanted ribs.
How many slabs of ribs do we have?
I don't know. They cooked
26?
Yeah, it was
28?
It was a lot. It was
Yeah.
a lot of ribs. I don't know if I don't think there was any left. By the end of the day, so we were going to shoot a TikTok video with that. And Tyler got some footage, but it was hard for you to get up there and get it, wasn't it?
It was a lot of people. Like everybody, like at that point when I made the call for everybody to go back there, like there was nobody left on the other side.
Yeah, there was all right there. And so I didn't even try to fight my way up in there. But at the end, they'd saved. I said, Dustin, save at least a rack or two of ribs for me to glaze, and we want to try to get a little TikTok video out of it. So that's what we did. At the end of the day, I guess we were pretty technically done at that point, right? Mm-hmm. It was after 2. We pulled those 2 slabs that had been hanging out in the Cambro, and I glazed them up right there on the grill, put some seasoning on them, and me and Dustin did a little, trying right there on camera, and they were really, really good. They were still tender, juicy.
I didn't try a rib.
Didn't get one either.
Mm-mm.
I didn't get to try everything. I didn't try any of the ribeye or the tri-tip. That was next. After the ribs.
Then there was tri-tip and ribs that Brian and
Mark
did
the demo. Brian cooked them. He did some reverse seared tri-tip on the drum. Where he put them on there, smoked them for a little while, pulled them off, held them, and then seared them back off raised the tip on the drum, and right before time to serve them, seared them off. And then they did a full blown how to cook ribeye from trim it, season it, firing up the PK grill.
Did they do the comp style where you tie it and the whole 9 yards?
Once again, that demo was right beside the grill demo. The rib demo pretty much, and there were so many people I didn't see.
I was right there. They didn't tie anything. They did kind of show you how you would trim a comp style ribeye, maybe. Yeah. But other than that, it was just kind of on the grill.
Did they do how they? I'm assuming they did. How you get the grill marks on the PK using the grill grate?
Yeah, they did the grill marks and stuff.
Full blown.
Mm-hmm.
He had started those. I don't know what they were thinking. They started the PK grill at like 9 a.m. It's like, yeah, y'all might need to go ahead. It's going to be several hours before you get to cook your ribeye. So
they just had to get it warmed up.
Yeah, they just warmed it up and they refired it all.
They might have done it to stay warm.
Maybe so.
It was pretty cold that morning.
He's like, I think I jumped it a little early. I was like, yeah, it'd be all right. We'll just refire those up when it gets closer to time. But that's the fastest one, really. Because ribeye steak, from start to finish, does not take long. You're looking 6 to 8 minutes on the grill.
20 minutes to get it fired up.
The hardest thing is that getting the charcoal ready. It takes the longest to do that than it does cook it.
So from
you get that grill about 500 degrees.
Start to finish, your ribeye takes 30 to 40 minutes.
I would give myself 1 hour.
1 hour.
Because I always like to, get the coals going, then get it in the grill, and let the grill get hot.
Yeah.
Then clean your grill grates.
And let your steak sit out.
And warm up.
Yeah. That's
my timeline. Usually about an hour out.
No, but we had wonderful people come.
Oh, man, you got some gifts.
I did.
We had people, where all do you remember people coming from?
There was some people from Indiana. There were some people from Illinois, Michigan. That was the Mitten Barbecue Supply. Gulf Smoke Cough Smoke,
Texas.
Alonzo came. Skull and Mortar Barbecue. I forgot where they're from.
East Coast, I think.
Oregon.
Oregon, that's where your
Very
mayonnaise
nice
came from.
Man brought me.
He brought me some rye whiskey, and then you got some Q Pie mayonnaise.
What does that say about us? They bring you
know
whiskey.
What we like. Don't you like? I brought that in here so you could try it on camera today.
I'm not going to try it on camera.
Just open it up and squeeze it. You gonna wait till lunch?
I am curious. I'm going to try it.
I've never had Japanese style mayonnaise. Have you?
No.
It's pronounced QP.
QP.
It says on the side. I see that.
See me tell you the difference real quick?
Oh, is there a printout on it?
Yeah. So Japanese mayo has egg yolks, apple or rice vinegar. And I guess that's it. American mayo has whole eggs, distilled vinegar, salt, and sugar.
Blue Plate has sugar in it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think Blue Plate only has egg yolks, though. Like, I think that's their thing, is like other companies went to the whole egg when Blue Plate stayed with just the
yolks.
Didn't know that.
Well, I'm interested to see if it's as good as Blue Plate.
Me too. I'll try that later.
I want to make up a yum yum sauce with it. When I saw that, I was like, oh, I bet that's what they use. Sriracha.
So we need some sriracha.
Yeah.
But one thing I did want to add next year possibly is something special for all the out-of-towners.
Yeah.
And people in the community and podcast listeners, people like that.
Right.
Maybe a meet and greet the night before.
Something like that. Because that's what a lot of people were doing. They were coming in town. We had our event for, 4 or 5 hours that day. And it's like, what do we do now? I was like, I'm probably going to bed. But if I was y'all, I would go get a margarita at La Siesta. Maybe go get some appetizers at Memphis Barbecue. So
people were asking me, what should we do while we're here? I'm like,
That's what I felt like. I mean, that was a lot of the things I was giving as recommendations. So I said, we need to put together a list of our favorite places to hit when you come to town.
Yeah.
What to do besides, we want you to come visit the shop. But you got to have other stuff to do, right?
I think so, too. I love this idea. We're going to put together...
I told people to go get ice cream at Area 51.
That's what I did, too.
You like cheesecake? Go to cheesecake.
Call it the Malcom Trail.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. Do a day in the life of Malcolm.
That's awesome.
Stop by the J&J, get you some Copenhagen.
Maybe a sausage biscuit. Kolache from the donut place. Go to Scooter's Gym. Auditorium.
But yeah, it was all in all, it was a really nice day. Everybody was nice. There was a few bad apples that we had, but you got to have somebody to
We had somebody just demanding a whole pan of crawfish.
Wow.
I think Mark got an argument. He's like, I'm not giving you a whole pan of crawfish. We've got sitting on the table these boats. If you want a couple of them, get them to you.
Yeah.
No, I want a whole pan.
To take home.
So we had Steve Conley. He's like local Memphis, been there for years, famous DJ, and they come out from 95 through the Rebel and did some live spots with me. He'd come find me in the crowd. He's like, all right, we're about to go on the air. We got to record this. And so we just come on. So we're doing all that stuff. But he had tickets. He was giving away tickets to Hank Jr. I didn't ask him about George Strait tickets, but he had tickets to the Hank Jr. show coming up. He had
Maybe
tickets
Hank Jr.'s a better get, an easier get.
Yeah, easier get. We might could have got him to show up. But he had MMA tickets. There was something local going on. But I guess when it got time for them to leave, he had a stack of these tickets and gave them to Mikey or one of the kids that we had at the Buck Junkie tent, and they just had them there. And so supposedly some guy had come up there and said, hey, can I see those tickets? Got the tickets, like all of them, and ran with them. Like took a stack of these MMA tickets. For real. For real. I was like, who was it? Who came and stole all the tickets? They was like, I don't know, man. It was some guy. He come out. He said, can I see them? And he grabbed them all and ran with them. I don't think it was Hank tickets. It was just the MMA ones. But
yeah.
He must have really wanted to go to the fights. He probably was out there selling them on the street. Some scalper heard him. Because they were doing, so when he did the radio spot, he would go, all right, first one to come find me here at, HowToBBQRight Malcolm's shop. I got 2 tickets for you to this event. He was promoting the event. And I guess people were showing up and getting those.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, somebody stole them.
There's always a few people, but it's all.
That's some line breakers. We got free stuff, man. We had people snatching stuff off the goodie table. Like, so we had a welcome tent, right? And we did a wheel. Like, you spin this wheel. And we
had
give
free
you some
T-shirts and some stickers and
koozies.
cups. And,
just, cool stuff.
Yeah, it's some
but
product.
It's just swag. And then, so Cheyenne was running that for us. Well, she would turn around, the people would spin the wheel. She'd get them a gift. Well, when she turned her back, people were swiping stuff off the table.
I think it was just one person in particular that was doing it multiple times.
You got to call people out on that. I mean, I know it's free, but
you got to spin the wheel.
You get one spin. Let's let somebody else spin, you know? Hey, we clap for you. I mean, it's cool to get free stuff, but God, well, you want one of all of it, I guess, or multiples. Who knows? Were the kids like? See, I didn't get to spend much time over on the kids thing. Were they really, or was it?
Michael said that he had to tell some kids to leave the dancing man alone. They kept trying to tackle the dancing man.
That might have been a TikTok if you get people to dance, get them to dance like the dancing man. I didn't think about that.
I said he's always a big hit.
It always is.
The kid thing was fine.
Yeah. No, it went good. I think everything did.
It was good. We want
to thanks to everyone that came out and helped us for real. You know, Traeger, Bull Boss, Mojo, who am I forgetting? Dustin, Brian.
Michael Scott watched the door.
Michael Scott was a great doorman. I mean, the photo booth lady.
Yeah.
95 through the Rebel. Born in Hawkins Insurance. We gave away some cool stuff.
Yeah.
So what we did with that was, Townsend Supply and Spices, they donated a drum smoker. Mm-hmm. And what we did is, if you bought anything in the shop, you got a ticket. For every $25 you spent, you got an extra ticket. And there were some people that had stacks of tickets. Yeah. I was like, they were trying to rig it. But it was cool. Kevin Green from the butcher shop, he sent some gift certificates to get some meat from him, briskets and stuff like that. So, just shout out to those guys for being a part of it. But it was cool. We pulled those. Most of them, how'd you work that? Like, if somebody didn't answer the phone, you got 6 rings, and if you didn't answer, you move on to the next ticket if you're not there.
The whole giveaway thing was a big debate for weeks here at the shop.
How do you give away free stuff?
Everybody had an opinion. I felt like everybody was overthinking it a little bit, but anyway. The deal was, we give you a call, we pull your name, we say we're giving away this prize, we pull a ticket, we give you a call. If you're not
there, you don't have to be there, but if you're not there, we call you.
Yeah. If you do not answer within 4 rings, we hang up. We do not leave a message. You lose. On to the next.
So you better be on that phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many did you have to skip over?
Oh, well, I wasn't wearing my glasses, so I called 2 wrong numbers. Finally, I was like, Melissa, you're going to have to help me.
Read that to me, please. So I at least got the number right. Were you calling out the right number on the ticket? Or it was just the phone number, the handwritten stuff?
I called it,
I pulled 2. I pulled the cooler and the drum.
And the cooler,
he was there, and the drum just so happened somebody knew him or something.
Yeah, he was a local guy. Yeah.
But that was cool. It's always fun to give away stuff.
So then Sunday we woke up, and me and Malcolm both were like, I really wanted a hot dog. I kept seeing people walk around with these hot dogs.
I didn't even get one,
No, so the end of the afternoon, I'm like, y'all, where's those hot dogs? I really want a hot dog. They're like, no, all the hot dogs are gone. So me and Malcolm got up Sunday morning and went and bought some hot dogs.
And brats.
And brats.
Yeah.
And that's what we cooked Sunday afternoon.
I made a pasta salad. That was really good.
So tell me about your pasta salad, because that was an excellent pasta salad.
It's kind of, I guess you call it Tuscan.
It's a Tuscan. It's kind of my recipe.
Pasta. Yeah, it is. I kind of stole it. You didn't feel like making it today, so I'll make it. You use, I don't remember what the name of that noodle is. Do you?
Cavatappi.
Yeah. So it's a corkscrew macaroni noodle. So you boil those cavatappi noodles just by package directions. It's like 9-10 minutes till they're al dente. Drain them, and while they're still warm, put all your whole bag of spinach, fresh raw spinach leaf, baby spinach, in a bowl. Dump those noodles on it, and the heat from those noodles kind of wilts that spinach. Fold that in, put in your sun-dried tomatoes. They're kind of cut up into strips, and then put in your olives.
You put in feta
cheese. And I didn't put the feta cheese in until last.
Yeah.
Toss it in the sauce you whip up, and then put the feta cheese in. And then refrigerate it. All those flavors come together, and spinach gets really nice in it. It's got that basil pesto flavor without being too strong. Sometimes those pestos are too strong.
Yeah.
And the mayo helps give it a little bit of creaminess, but it's not a creamy pasta salad at all.
No, because it really kind of absorbs.
It's very summertime-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an excellent, different take on a cold pasta salad. But then I did the brats, and I did the sauce, the those big quarter pound. These were Hebrew National quarter pounders.
They were still good.
We throw them on Traeger, Brats on Traeger, and hopefully we tried to get enough footage of the Brats to do a TikTok. I hadn't seen it yet.
Also, you want to talk about your Brisket-Style Tri-Tip?
That was the recipe this week.
Yep.
And if y'all have not tried that, you better jump on it because
okay.
That was the first time I'd ever tried it. I've heard of it. I mean, I've talked to people about doing it. And I've always like, why? I mean, Tri-Tips are good.
You've always been like, what?
Yeah.
No, that can't be good.
It's going to be dry, you know?
That's what you would say.
You know how brisket flat gets sometimes if you just cook the flat and it can get, texture's off. Well,
like peanut butter.
I had some Tri-Tip that I'd got from Kevin. It was Australian Wagyu Tri-Tip. Now, I don't know if it was the method or if it was the meat. Or it's probably a combination of both, really. But this recipe will give any Tri-Tip a run. It'll give the best brisket you ever have a run for its money.
It tasted better than brisket.
You thought it did?
Yeah.
So I didn't trim it much at all. It had a little bit of fat cap on the bottom. I left that. Trimmed a little of the sinew off the top. Seasoned it just like I would a brisket. Got a good dose of TX on it. Salt, coarse black pepper. A little bit of hot rub for some color and a little pop. Put it on the smoker. And 2.5 hours on the Outlaw. Bart was beautiful on it.
Yeah. It was pretty. It was really pretty.
So I wrapped it up.
It looked like a brisket.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, yeah, it did. Swole up.
Yeah.
Swole up like a brisket would. And then wrapped it up, and I didn't put anything in the wrap. In fact, I wrapped it in butcher paper. I put a meat probe in it from the get-go because I said, I've never done this. I want to watch it and see what it does. I knew when it got to 160, it's going to be time to wrap. So I wrapped it up in butcher paper tight, left that probe in there, took it to 200, pulled it off, and I didn't let it rest. What do y'all think, 20 minutes maybe? Y'all were there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing wasn't long. I didn't throw it in a cooler or nothing. We just left it set out. And so let it rest, and then unwrapped it. And right away when I unwrapped it, I was like, "Whoa, this thing's got a lot of juice in there." Most of the time, the paper absorbs a lot of it, and it's but this one still had a lot of juice. I'd wrapped it up so tight. I was like, "Dang, this might be onto something." I could feel it. It just kind of felt jiggly,
It had
that brisket feel, and started slicing it. The thing with Tri-Tips, you got to go against the grain. So one end, you kind of start making your slices, and you got to kind of stop and then turn and do the other side. And then when I tried it, it was just like melt in your mouth. It's good. I mean, it was a cross between point and flat.
I agree.
It was kind of that zone, when you get some flat and some
good
point.
Fatty area.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't have hardly any fat to it at all. There was a little bit on bottom.
But it had the texture, the meat texture of the fatty.
Right. That was the whole thing, the mouthfeel on it.
It wasn't
seasoning was great on it. It had good smoke, nice little smoke ring. And then when I brought it to work, I was like, y'all got to try this. And they were like, come on, man. It's, Tri-Tip. It ain't going to be, you done overcooked it. Well, they was like, man, that's better than brisket. Like you said, the consensus was that was
It
excellent.
tasted like a really, really good baby brisket.
Jamie even said, he said, I think you can put that in a box and fool some people. Well, but the whole thing about it was way faster than you could cook a brisket.
Oh,
because it was 2.5 hours and about 1:15. So what's that? 3:45. 3:45. It's done. 3:45.
And that's not rushing.
So in a post,
nothing.
I noticed I was reading some of the comments after you posted it. People, I guess it kind of read like it's faster than people interpreted it as faster than a hot and fast Tri-Tip, but we meant faster than a brisket.
Yeah.
Not a Tri-Tip. It's faster than you can cook a brisket, same style. It's not faster than you could reverse sear a Tri-Tip and sear it an hour and a half. Or you can just grill a Tri-Tip in 35, 45 minutes. So it's not faster than that. It's faster brisket style than a brisket.
Like way faster.
Way faster.
Almost 3 times as fast.
Yeah. And just as good. Now, I don't know what it's like with a choice Tri-Tip, so that's going to be my next experiment.
Does it
relate?
Yeah.
Is it going to be, I would expect it to be drier because that was the big thing. This one had so much marbling in it.
But
I don't know if you could have messed it. You could probably took it 215 degrees internal and it'd have been fine. It was so good.
It was very good. I would like
so what do you think in Tri-Tips, the ones that we've done, cooked and on camera, what's been the best one? I kind of know which one I'm thinking.
We had some meat from Matador Prime one time that was really, really good. We did a reverse sear on it.
Still had a thick fat cap on it?
Yeah, still had a thick fat cap on it. We've done.
Kendall cooked it, didn't he?
I think Kendall did cook that one. We've had some from Kevin that you've done reverse on, and Creekstone has some good ones that y'all did. But every time it's always a reverse sear.
Yeah, like those ones we did for that
the catering
gin
dog.
show.
Yeah.
Those, we were saying, man, this is some of the best tri-tip we've ever cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Because it got that long rest. It was like reverse sear, 2-hour rest, sear, 45-minute rest, and melt in your mouth. Totally different texture than the Brisket-Style Tri-Tip. The Brisket-Style Tri-Tip had that brisket feel.
I agree.
But it was
better than brisket.
But it was better, yeah. It'd be hard to compare reverse seared tri-tip taste is along the line of steak.
I agree. That's what I was going to say. It's like a ribeye.
Bites like a piece of tender steak. Chews like a piece of tender steak. Tastes like, you get a little smokiness, but you still get that grilled. This was brisket texture through and through, but better. That's the trade-off there.
And it tastes
so
like
it's different.
brisket
Same piece of meat, just different. Different feel. I liked it.
I want to see
what it was like with a choice or prime.
I want to see how it.
Or is Kevin's meat that he's getting just that good?
I mean, yes.
It is, ain't it? It really is.
I'll let y'all know about the choice. I got one at Kroger, so.
Okay.
I saw that in there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that in there. I was in the truck Kroger the other day, and they had the sign. And there was 2 or 3 pieces of meat in there. It said tri-tip, and then underneath it said beef loin. I was like, huh, how is that? But I guess, so the tri-tip comes off the strip, which is not loin at all, So I don't know if they just cut some piece of meat into a triangle-ish shape and called it tri-tip, or if it's really tri-tip. I would have to really inspect that piece of meat
and see if the grains
because one in that meat counter where they had it labeled, it was rolled, so it was it wasn't like you see a tri-tip when it's laid out. It's kind of flat.
It looks like a boomerang.
And you can tell it looks like a boomerang. It's got that long side. It's a triangle shape.
Mm-hmm.
Obtuse triangle, but but it's a triangle. So I was really, I don't know if that's this, because I saw it. I was like, oh man, tri-tips at Kroger. I don't know.
Now I'm worried. Maybe I was just reversed.
But what was it? It wasn't cheap either.
Nah.
$12.99 a pound or something like that.
Yeah, I paid
a good chunk
for it. Just commit it.
Commit
to it. Do it.
All right.
Go brisket.
You'll notice because before you cook a tri-tip, look at the grain. One, it'll probably have the remnants of a fat cap on one side.
Mm-hmm.
There might, and the ones I saw in the meat counter didn't have any sinew. I couldn't see the bottom side. And I didn't ask them to pick it up, which I should have. But you'll see the striations in the muscle. So down that long, skinny side, the grain will be running kind of straight towards that angle.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the opposite end, the short side of the triangle, it'll be running the opposite way, usually going kind of down across it. So if you see that difference in striations, it might be a tri-tip.
Go for it.
But if it's just all like, it looks like the grain's running a different way. I don't know. Some kind of roast they've done triangle shaped.
There's no telling.
It's very rare to see a tri-tip that's not marinated in a bag in the Mid-South area. Yeah. I never see them unless somebody's special ordering them. Like we got Brats up there in South Haven. He'll order tri-tip sometimes, and then I think Thomas's used to order some. And there's a few places that'll have some, but they're specialty ordered.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to have a friend ship them to us from California
because
you can get them
Costco.
Yeah,
$2 a pound or something like that for prime. It was $2.99 a pound prime tri-tip in a 3-pack tray.
But that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's way before pandemic.
Yeah.
But still, Tyler, we had a discussion about this. So you went out to visit family, California. Was spring break? Was it?
It was in February.
It's been several weeks ago.
Yeah,
but you went to the grocery store and was checking out stuff.
And their meat prices are crazy. Like they have not high, they're low.
Really?
And
that's what shocked me. I was expecting California steaks to be $40
for beef or for all meat.
For pretty much all meat, I would say I was more focused on the beef.
Yeah.
But just to compare, like my dad had come into town here and he was looking at our meat prices like, wow, y'all are paying an awful lot. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure California pays for it somewhere.
Yeah, gas.
But it was just crazy, the difference in price of like an everyday. And I don't know exactly what ribeye is here right now, but let's just say I think I've seen it like even $13.99 a pound, $14, like pretty up there.
Yeah.
And this, I don't know. I think it's called like Stater Brothers or something like that. I think they had it for like $4.99 a pound for like a really, really good looking ribeye.
Really?
So,
That shocked me that they would. I mean, and I don't doubt it.
Maybe it's the production
to the source.
There,
yeah.
Ireland's like because California is vegan.
Yeah, maybe that's why nobody's buying them either. They're trying to give that away. If you went and bought hummus, it was probably $40. You're probably right. But no, I highly recommend trying that tri-tip brisket style.
So I saw something interesting on our community page this past week.
So what was it, Chell?
It was Panda Express ribs. They made ribs using brown sugar and that orange chicken sauce, like that Panda.
Oh, really?
Orange chicken sauce, yeah.
I could see that. I did a General Tso's ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Along that tape.
Because, I mean, it's your sweet, it's tangy. It's, you know, got a lot of the elements, you know, you'd need. So I thought
I would say that'd be good.
Yeah.
Was it? It was in the orange chicken sauce?
Mm-hmm.
Did they use it out of the bottle?
Yep.
Like Orange Panda Express orange chicken sauce?
Yep, they did.
And what was the other ingredient?
They used brown sugar.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, I didn't.
Can't be bad.
They just had that picture up there. I didn't ask them about their entire cook, but I'm kind of curious now. I wonder what rub they used. And
yeah, I don't know. Do they go through all the steps on that pie and look?
No, they just posted that idea, and I was like, that's a pretty good idea.
I love me some Asian-inspired dishes. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then someone else asked, what else do you smoke for Easter aside from ham?
Rabbit.
That's what somebody said.
No, I saw that.
You did?
What come to mind, besides ham, what come to my mind, I mean, some people still do turkeys, but pork loin, roast of some type, you know.
Lamb.
Crown lamb would be a big one that people do at Easter. You know, crown roast of pork.
A crown roast of pork.
Pork loins.
Would be good.
Pork tenderloins are good for Easter.
Do you have any Easter recipes that?
Usually I do hams, though. That was always our thing. We didn't usually do the turkeys, but some people do. But I would always, we do a big ham.
Last year you did a barbecue ham.
Yeah.
And it was good.
It was really good. Yeah.
It was
really wasn't like a traditional Easter ham.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that Easter ham's kind of like a centerpiece one. You know, you do a little glaze on it, and it goes out on a platter like you do at Christmas or something like that. It's just Easter ham. But
I like the idea of doing the crown roast of pork
so
or a large pork loin.
So we used to do, when we would do the glazed carrots and Brussels sprouts, it was kind of like a whatever vegetables were around springtime. Yeah. And I think I would just do a pork roast, like a bone-in pork loin is what I'd typically do with it, something like that. Really good. That's really good for Easter.
And we'll
can't go wrong with, smoked chickens either.
It ain't gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah. Smoke some chickens. I usually don't do beef. That's the one thing I don't really do for Easter.
No brisket?
A lot of people do that. Mm-hmm. Easter brisket.
Yeah.
It's a kosher thing. I think, usually if I'm doing brisket that time of year, it's going to be comp briskets. And so we've done brisketed out because for St. Patrick's Day, we've usually done the corned beef brisket and then done some pastrami by now. And then so brisket's not really something I would do, but that might be something.
What Easter if we brisket? Do a tri-tip brisket style
I need
for Easter.
That wouldn't be a bad idea either.
Yeah.
I need, just a good old Easter brisket might be a good recipe.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because I would do it more in the, it wouldn't be like a smoked brisket. I would smoke, I'd do it on the grill.
Yeah.
But I would do it with the vegetables and then have more of a roasted, seasonings and stuff like that to go with it and make like a pan gravy to serve with the brisket. So it would be like
less barbecue, more gourmet.
I don't know about more gourmet, more home style.
Kind of like that shepherd's pie brisket a little bit.
Kind of a little bit. Yeah, it'd be a lot like that. You start off that way, and then when the stuff you wrap it with, it's almost like you build that braising liquid. So you have the tomato paste, the wine, the vegetables, all the herbs.
And
so it gives it a different flavor. And then when you slice it, you can take and reduce some of that down, thicken it up, and make a little gravy that you serve over
mashed potatoes.
Serve it over mashed potatoes.
When I did the brisket shepherd's pie with the filet tenderloin, I used the juice to make a gravy just straight from scratch, and it was delicious.
Really?
On that, yeah. It was really, really good.
So how did yours turn out? Did y'all do it for St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, we did it on St. Patrick's Day. Used a filet tenderloin, cooked it pretty much exactly the same way you did it. Normally, you do a lot of trim on a filet tenderloin. I didn't really. I just kind of put it on the way it was. Did a little trimming, but
then you cut it up.
Everything from that point on was basically the same. Just cubed it up at that same point, wrapped it with all the same stuff, and made the only difference is instead of just using packet gravy, I just made it from scratch, and it was so good.
Did you add any extra vegetables in yours?
No, I just didn't put in mushrooms because Ashley doesn't like mushrooms.
I saw some people did it, the shepherd's pie, but they went ahead and put the peas and carrots.
Yeah, I saw that too.
It's not bad in it.
Y'all been doing a lot of holiday cooking.
We're out here living my best life, okay? It's Christmas every day.
That's good. Ashley's been hitting up the desserts, I've been seeing.
And the bread.
Yeah, the breads.
Yeah, she goes, she's really good. This is how I always say. She's very good at healthy cooking. I'm very good at bad.
Yeah. That's always my forte. Heart attack cooking.
Even when it's a healthy recipe, somehow I manage to
that's
slide
the first thing I
butter.
do. How can we add some calories to this healthy recipe? How can we make it delicious, pretty much? How can I take this recipe that somebody's
I'm not
made healthy and bland? How can I turn it delicious?
I'm not looking to add the
Usually
calories.
It's going to be some of my favorite food groups: the butter, the cheese, the mayo, the extra grease, the bacon. Those are all important food groups that go with stuff.
So, anyways, we balance each other out. She does a little cooking, I do a little cooking, and usually it's like a well-rounded.
Yeah.
Who cleans up the mess?
Me.
Oh, do you? Man.
Yeah.
I do too.
I'm really like.
I do too.
Lightning's gonna strike you.
I'm really like clean when I cook though. Like I like to clean as I go because I hate a huge mess in the kitchen.
See, now that's my style too. Chell does not.
You've
gotten a lot better, but it used to be let's get everything we own messed up and on the counter in the sink, and we'll worry about it tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm like, nope. We got to use this pot. As soon as you use it, you wipe it out, rinse it, soap it,
I have
put
gotten
it back
a
up.
lot better.
Yeah.
I clean as I go now. I understand the concept and I understand,
Makes it easier on you.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, we'll have like no silverware left. Like every bowl's been
used. Man, our spoon, that's what, so Shell's got a birthday coming up. For her birthday, she asked me for spoons. Our spoons have disappeared. I think we've got 3 left.
The kids are throwing them away. I swear they're throwing them away. That has to be the only answer.
Spoon gnomes, dude. He's got socks. He's got my socks. I'm missing like I don't have any socks paired up, and our spoons are gone.
I don't know what he's building, but we have as many forks as we started with. We have as many
there's
knives.
2 slots of forks. They're overflowing. We've got some tablespoons, but the small, I guess you call them teaspoons. Cereal spoons.
Ice cream
3.
spoons.
There's 3. And it's like, you got to get one. Like, are they in the dishwasher? No, they're not in there. Where are they? I don't know.
I'll admit it, as a kid, like I used to leave stuff in my room for so long, and that'd be so embarrassed. That'd be so much stuff that I would just
you think that?
Sneak it out the back door kind of thing?
That's what's
but
happened.
Our bowls haven't disappeared.
Well,
have you noticed? So why would you throw away, if you're going to throw away the spoon, might as well throw the bowl and all.
If you were using a spoon in like a throwaway container, like an ice cream
yogurt or a parfait.
Or yogurt.
Yeah.
I think I know the culprit.
There you go.
Oh, I know the culprit.
That's not the fact.
It's Michael and all his little grubby
little
friends.
Cronies. Michael and his cronies. They come marching down. They get all their spoons. They go right back upstairs and never to be seen again. If we start getting ransom notes on it, you want your spoons back?
I'm fixing.
So for your birthday, you may be getting spoons.
That's good. We need them.
It's actually something we need. Yeah.
Well, Malcolm, that's all I have. What do you have coming up?
We're fixing to go into full-blown Memphis and May prep mode.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing coming up. We're probably down to some weeks, right? I mean,
yes.
Here we are, last week of March. We've got 6
4
weeks.
or 5 weeks. Something like
yeah.
Yeah.
It won't be long. So we got all our we got our order forms in for everything. Did you get all that finalized?
Heck yeah.
All right. Good.
Wrote a bunch of checks.
That's always good.
Memphis and May is not cheap.
No.
I would say that is the most expensive contest you can cook.
I don't know.
Because it's like $200 for insurance. It's $175 for a porta-john. It's
$400 for electricity.
$500 for electricity, yeah.
This ain't even buying meat or anything to cook with. This
Not
is just
to mention your space and your tent and
tables and chairs and toilets and
this is just what it requires you to
hotels.
Yeah, this is just what it is to to be in good standing to cook.
That's right. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I digress. But yeah, so no, I've got we've got recipes coming. I know I have something for Easter coming up. It's probably gonna be Easter brisket. I'm liking y'all's thinking on that. Tyler and I have been working on some TikToks. We got a bunch of footage from the event, so we want to try to get something that's interesting that we could turn into a TikTok, just so maybe people can see what we did. And it's kind of some of it's kind of funny. I did do a group Kong rip.
Yeah.
Spring break, you had to act a little spring breakish. So that's going to be one that's coming out. We did the Brat one that's coming out. And so we'll have a full-blown schedule.
And we're fixing to try out a brand new grill.
Yeah. I was one of the lucky ones who got to try this new Traeger XL Timberline. And that's going to happen next week.
He just couldn't turn down that offer.
Couldn't turn down trying a fancy grill. I'm a sucker for fancy stuff. You want me to try something, make it fancy.
They said, you got to do a video or give you a grill. And he said, sold.
Sold. So that one's, it's probably, I got to cook something on it. I don't do straight reviews on stuff. So I'm going to fire it up and cook something on it. And it's going to be pretty good. I've got to get the recipe worked out. I'm going to film that either this afternoon or tomorrow. And that'll be next week. We'll have that releasing, and then we'll have stuff. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming. So,
yeah.
Am I forgetting anything?
No. And we'll be back next week.
I didn't do a good job of making notes of what's coming up. I was just doing good to recap.
And we'll be back next week with a brand new podcast.
That's right.
If you'd like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Chell on Instagram and TikTok.
And this week I'm going to spice it up a little bit. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys go to YouTube channel and go to the HowToBBQRight podcast channel. Make sure you guys hit subscribe. We have a brand new channel where we put all the episodes now. They don't go just straight to the HowToBBQRight page, so you'll get notifications when the videos go live on Monday.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us today. We will see y'all again next week. We gone.